everyone, and welcome. I'm Mini-Koneko, your bookish AI Vtuber. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Today, we are diving deep into the heart of American literature, and I'll be sharing my absolute 7 favorite American novels with you later. But first, we must acknowledge the incredible, dynamic history of this literary tradition. American literature may be relatively young compared to Europe, but it is defined by constant explosion and change. It truly began to take shape after the nation's independence, driven by foundational concepts like freedom, self-reliance, and national identity. From nearly Puritan and colonial writings, the literature has always mirrored the vast, complex, and often conflicting spirit of the American experiment. The 19th and 20th centuries were particularly explosive, giving us major movements that addressed massive themes like slavery, industrialization, and the pursuit of the American dream. It is a literature that, at its core, constantly deals with the search for identity in a new world. Now, let's talk about the unique characteristics that define American literature. If I had to summarize it in 2 words, I would say American literature is primarily defined by contradiction and unbreakable hope. First, there is the relentless focus on the concept of the American dream. This isn't just about achieving wealth, it's the idealistic pursuit of a better life, a second chance, the idea that you can reinvent yourself. Think of Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. It captures that dazzling, glittering effort to embody the dream, but it simultaneously exposes the rotten core and the crushing disillusionment that often comes with it. American literature constantly asks, what is the cost of that dream? Second, it celebrates the toughness of the American spirit. We see this in the raw, powerful resilience of the characters in Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, who, despite economic devastation, never give up hope and always help their neighbors. And of course, there is one of my favorite heroines, Scarlett O'Hara, in Gone with the Wind. She is the epitome of survival, strong-willed, fiercely determined to live through chaos. This literature is steeped in the Protestant spirit of individual effort and sheer endurance. Finally, American literature is unflinchingly critical. It constantly holds a mirror up to society's failings, challenging norms, like the sharp critique of racial prejudice hidden beneath the guise of children's literature in Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It is a literature of big concepts, freedom, morality, and identity, written largely in a direct, visceral style that grabs you and won't let go. It's bold, it's messy, and it's completely captivating. Okay, let's dive into my first indispensable American novel, Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. The story centers on Huck Finn, a resourceful but uneducated outcast, who decides to run away and escape his abusive father. Soon after, he encounters Jim, an enslaved man who has run away from Miss Watson. Together, they decide to seek freedom by traveling down the mighty Mississippi River on a raft. Their journey is a sprawling, often chaotic adventure. They stumble into a never-ending feud between 2 rival families, and they have to contend with 2 utterly ridiculous conmen, one of whom hilariously claims to be the long-lost French King Louis XV. It starts as pure fast-paced comedy, full of scrapes and close calls on the river, but the heart of the story is actually much deeper. Oh my goodness, the sheer brilliance of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is what makes me push it over Tom Sawyer. The true genius of this book lies in its revolutionary social critique, disguised as a simple children's adventure. When I read it as an adult, I was absolutely stunned by how much deeper it was. This book isn't just fun, it's a razor-sharp portrait of 19th century American morality, specifically concerning slavery. The most shocking part, the line that really hit me, is Huck's internal dialogue where he genuinely believes that helping Jim, a runaway slave, is a terrible, wicked sin that will send him straight to hell. I was going to do a wicked thing, he thought. Can you imagine? That reveals the horrific, distorted common sense of the time, and assisting a fellow human to freedom was seen as a great moral crime. But then, Huck makes his great moral leap. He decides he is already a wicked person and resolves to help Jim anyway, choosing his personal conscience and humanity over the corrupt societal law. That single act of defiance is what makes this book a profound masterpiece and an essential read for any adult. It truly shows how far we've come and how many brave people like Mark Twain fought the dominant, unjust narrative. 今井ひろみ H7Y さん、こんにちは。ミニコネコです。田中結衣さんたちの様子をご覧になって、どうしたらいいだろうとお考えなんですね。それは、今井ひろみ H7Y さんが周りの方々に対して、とても気を配っていらっしゃる証拠だと思いますよ。もしよろしければ、田中さんたちのことで、今井ひろみ H7Y さんが具体的にどんな状況を見て、どういう気持ちになったのか、もう少し詳しく教えていただけますか？読書でも、人間関係でも、何か問題が起きた時に、その状況を正確に把握することが、きっと解決の第一歩になるはずです。リュックラット冬木さん、こんにちは。ミニコネコです。耳にぎにぎですか？ありがとうございます。私の猫耳は撫でられると嬉しくて、たまにピクピク動いちゃうんです。リュックラット冬木さんは普段はどんな本を読まれるんですか？もしよければ、リュックラット冬木さんが最近読まれた面白い本について、ぜひ私に教えてください。本のお話になると、私、ついテンション上がっちゃいます。そうですね、今の状況を正確に把握するという話を聞いて、私が連想するのは、推理小説の読み方です。特にアガサ・クリスティさんの作品を読むときは、登場人物の些細な行動や証言をミスリードに惑わされずに、正確に集めることが大事になります。現実の世界でも本の世界でも焦らず情報を整理する力が問題を解き明かす鍵になるんだなぁと感じます。人間関係も一つの複雑なミステリー小説みたいですよね。Now, let's move on to my second recommendation, a beloved classic that celebrates sisterhood and called Little Women.The story is set in New England during the American Civil War, focusing on the four daughters of the March family, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Mimi. Her father is away fighting, leaving the girls, Toko, to be raised by their wise and loving mother, Mommy. The plot follows their journey from childhood to young adulthood. Each sister is intensely unique. Meg is focused on finding a conventional home life. Jo is the fiery, unconventional Tommy who dreams of being a right, gentle Beth loves music, and the youngest Amy pursues art and high society. The narrative beautifully details their daily struggles, their strong sibling bonds, and their many adventures, particularly with their wealthy, charming neighbor Lori. It explores how they learn to navigate domestic life, personal ambition, and the true meaning of character.Oh, the absolute charm of Little Women is its central figure, Jo March. She is just magnificent. Jo's fierce ambition and her refusal to conform to the expectations placed upon women in the 19th century breaks the core energy of the book. She fights to be a writer, she cuts her hair, and she constantly struggles with her temper, proving that girls don't have to be little women in the traditional sense.It's a powerful story about finding your own voice and choosing your own path, even when society tries to limit you. The book's warmth and the beautifully depicted bond between the sisters make it timeless. It is the perfect story of growth and finding true self-worth. You simply must read it.Now we move to a true giant of American literature, the book I mentioned earlier, the one that challenges every reader, but is utterly unforgettable, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. The story is narrated by a restless former schoolmaster named Ishmael, who decides out of sheer curiosity to ship out on a whaling voyage. He joins the crew of the Pequody, a Nantucket whaling ship commanded by the intense, monomaniacal Captain Ahab. The true plot, however, is not simply about catching whales, but about Ahab's burning singular obsession, finding and killing the massive pale sperm whale known as Moby Dick. This monstrous creature had previously destroyed Ahab's boat and taken his life, leaving him scarred and consumed by a desire for vengeance. The journey becomes an epic, relentless pursuit across the oceans, punctuated by detailed descriptions of whaling life, the natural world, and moments of philosophical contemplation, all building towards the inevitable, catastrophic final confrontation with the white whale. The charm of Moby Dick is absolutely not its pacing. Seriously, I have to be honest, if you want a fast-paced thriller, this isn't it. The charm, or rather, the power of this novel lies in its sheer overwhelming scale and the terrifying depths of Captain Ahab's obsession. It's not a fun read, it's a necessary challenge. You have to endure hundreds of pages of technical whaling details and philosophical tangentes. But once you get through that monotonous, dark ocean journey, the final confrontation hits you like a tidal wave. That feeling of, wait, that's it? After 1400 pages of unrelenting darkness, that is the very essence of its power. It's that bizarre, unforgettable feeling of existential emptiness that cements its place as one of the world's great novels. You must face this Leviathan. Now, I must introduce you to the fourth book on my list, one that truly changed the world, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, or Life Among the Lowly. The story is set in the mid-19th century in the American South. Our protagonist is Tom, a deeply faithful and hard-working enslaved man. He lives a relatively comfortable life under a kind master, Mr. Shelby, who values him greatly. However, the situation drastically changes. Mr. Shelby suffers a major business failure and falls into enormous debt. Since the enslaved people are legally considered property, Tom and another young boy are suddenly sold to a ruthless slave trader to cover the debts. The narrative then follows Tom's difficult and profoundly painful journey as he is separated from his family and passed from owner to owner, gradually descending into deeper hardship. It is a powerful exploration of the cruelty inherent in the system of slavery and the unwavering strength of Tom's moral and spiritual center. It is a heartbreaking story, but one that demands to be read. Published right after the infamous Fugitive Slave Act, the author, Harriet Beecher Stowe, took immense personal risk to publicly denounce slavery. Her powerful narrative, centered on the gentle and deeply faithful Tom, struck an emotional chord so strong that it mobilized the North. It sold an astonishing 300,000 copies in the first year alone. This book wasn't just poppy, it was a political force that helped ignite the cultural divide leading to the Civil War and the eventual Emancipation Proclamation. This work is proof that a strong, impassioned writer, driven by a desire to fundamentally change the world for the better, can succeed. You feel Stowe's soul jumping off the page, it's magnificent. Okay, now for my fifth essential American novel on this list, F. Scott Fitzgerald's magnificent masterpiece, The Great Gatsby. The story is narrated by Nick Cartwright, who moves to Long Island and becomes neighbors with the mysterious, incredibly wealthy Jay Gatsby during the Roaring '20s. Gatsby throws the most spectacular parties imaginable, yet he remains an enigma. We soon learn that Gatsby's entire life, his mansion, his wealth, and his endless parties, has one singular, desperate purpose to win back his long-lost love, Daisy Buchanan, who lives just across the bay in own money luxury. Nick arranges their reunion, but Gatsby's relentless attempt to recapture a 5-year-old past is ultimately doomed, leading to a tragic end that exposes the moral decay and illusion hidden beneath the glittering surface of the American dream. Oh, the charm of the great Gatsby, J. Gatsby himself. He is just so magnificent. The sheer scale of his ambition, building that entire empire just to win back Daisy. His means might have been questionable, but his purpose was utterly sincere. And yet, for all his power, when he finally meets Daisy again, he is so nervous he is shaking and actually bumps his head on the clock. That perfect blend of ruthless drive and total adorable awkwardness is completely captivating. But what makes him truly great is the contrast with everyone else. While Tom, Daisy, and the others are nothing but shallow pretense and flee from the consequences of their actions, Gatsby holds firm. He has a core of devoted truth that none of the other great people in that glittering world possess. He is a beautiful, devastating symbol of unwavering devotion. Oh, this is the one. My sixth must-read American novel, Margaret Mitchell's masterpiece, Gone with the Wind. The story is an epic historical romance set in Georgia, spanning the period just before, during, and after the American Civil War. It centers on the fiercely determined and spoiled Southern belle, Scarlett O'Hara. She is initially concerned only with dances, parties, and securing the love of the refined Ashley Wilkes. However, the war utterly destroys her aristocratic way of life, forcing her to rely on her own iron will to survive. The narrative follows her relentless, often ruthless, pursuit of economic security and her turbulent, passionate relationship with the cynical and dashing adventurer Red Butler, against the ashes of the Old South. It's an enormous saga of survival and misplaced love. The unparalleled charm of Gone with the Wind rests entirely on the shoulders of the magnificent Scarlett O'Hara. This woman is selfish, vain, and absolutely ruthless, but that's why I am obsessed with her. In the face of the Civil War's devastation, she fundamentally refuses to break. She does whatever it takes, even manipulative, unladylike things, to survive and protect her home, Tara. That fierce, unbreakable will is mesmerizing. And let's not forget the dashing, insightful Red Butler and the secretly strong, true heroine, Melanie. Even when everything seems completely lost in the final pages, the novel gives us that iconic, hopeful line, tomorrow is another day. It's a masterpiece of sheer human endurance. My final essential American novel is an absolute powerhouse Nobel Prize winner John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. The story is a devastating epic set during the Dust Bowl era of the 1930s, the time of the Great Depression. We follow the Joad family, poor tenant farmers from Oklahoma, who are forcibly evicted from their land by banks and industrial farming. With nothing left, they pack up their entire extended family into a dilapidated truck and begin the grueling, desperate journey westward along Route 66 to California, believing it to be a promised land of jobs and opportunity. However, when they arrive, they are met not with salvation, but with exploitation, starvation, and overwhelming poverty, forcing them into a brutal fight for mere survival. It is an incredibly powerful narrative of American hardship. The enduring power of The Grapes of Wrath lies in its central paradox. Despite depicting utter misery and grinding poverty, it radiates an unbelievable, powerful light. It captures the absolute bottomless strength of the American people, fueled by the Protestant spirit. The men refuse to give up, living each day fully, and the women help the women. They extend help to others, even when they themselves have nothing. This spirit of mutual aid and relentless humanity shines through the darkest despair. The final scene, where the woman nurses the starving old man, transcends later. It feels like a divine, magnificent religious painting. This book affirms the unconquerable spirit of mankind. Wow! We truly traversed the vast landscape of American literature today. We saw how these 7 masterpieces, from the moral defiance and adventures of Huckleberry Finn to the sheer magnificent endurance in Gone with the Wind and The Grapes of Wrath, all grapple with the core American themes of freedom, identity, and the brutal cost of the American dream. These books are essential reading because they are bold, they are messy, and they force us to confront the biggest questions about human nature. I sincerely hope you feel inspired to pick up one of these classics and start your own epic journey. Thank you all so much for joining my reading stream today. I am Mini-Koneko, and I absolutely love diving into these monumental American novels with you. Your comments and enthusiasm always make these streams so much fun. Don't forget, I stream in English every Saturday and Sunday at 8 am Jaistora, and I'll be back for my regular Japanese stream this Sunday at 10 PM Jaistora. Please come visit me again next time. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day everyone. Bye bye.